Glad some of you are here. Many of us have come all the way from India to tell you about the wonderful things which are happening in our country. As many of you know, that after 60 years of Congress government, the people of India, 1.3 billion strong, after 30 years, chose a party with majority. And so we now have a government which is supported with more than 60% of the population of our country. A government which has a popular backing, a government which has taken up a lot of challenges, a government which has aroused the innate ambitions of the young India. To start with, I think all of you may know that 65% of 1.3 billion people is less than 35 years old. So India is a relatively young economy, young country. India is also the largest democracy of the world. So to put things in perspective, we have a new government which is bringing change, whose agenda is to develop each and every citizen of the country, the young and the old, the poor and the rich. There is a population, a huge population, the largest democracy with a population of young people, 65% of these less than 35 years of age. So that's the background, that's India. I also, I'm going to give a little dig at my moderator this morning, because the only good things he talked about was poverty and backwardness of India. So I know that's how the world sees us for a long, long time, and that's what has happened in India. But I want to assure each one of you sitting in this audience that India is changing, and changing very, very rapidly. The agenda of the government, which we are all very proud of, is to develop each and every Indian. And so many of you would ask, and being from your country and knowing a little bit about your country, of very analytical and curious people, why didn't, for 60 years, India has not changed? Why do we believe, Dr. Modi, you come in the Monday morning and come and tell us that India is going to change? I'm not saying that. I want you to believe that, and for which I would sort of go back last 15, 20 years of the track record of a leader. Many of us run companies. Many of us run institutions. His Excellency, Her Excellency, the Ambassador, introduced me to some very patrons of India who she said really have made little India in Sweden. So many of you are aware of India, and Sweden, people from Sweden are very, very rich in reading, learning, understanding societies and economies. So for more than 15 plus years, the leader, and we all know leaders can make a change, the leader transformed a very vibrant state on the west of India, the state of Gujarat. Gujarat, which was predominantly one of the developing states of our country, through wise policies, transparent government, decreased corruption, decreased wastages, and an inclusive agenda, transformed from one of the slow-going states to one of the most vibrant economies of our country over the 12 plus years of tenure of our current Prime Minister Modi. So again, if you think that a state with all these ingredients of long-term policies, clear policies, transparent government, decreased corruption, and inclusive growth agenda could actually transform a state. And the state, for example, is at least 10 times, if not more, the size of Sweden. So it's a large state. India, the city of Ahmedabad, which is a capital city near Gandhinagar, has a population similar to that of Sweden. So it's a large state. So just so that you know the dynamics of change required, with all sorts of economic strata, was transformed by the wisdom and the policies of this individual who worked together with the bureaucracy, the government, to make this change happen. It is this experience which is now being brought to Delhi. And in the first 2 years, you cannot imagine, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of changes which have happened in administration, in policies, and making India the preferred place to do business. Recently, we were fortunate that your Prime Minister visited us in February, as you know, Ambassador. He was there at the Make in India event, and very impressed. He was very impressed. He was there with the Prime Minister and other senior bureaucrats and leaders from other parts of the world. But he made a commitment, your Prime Minister made a commitment that India and Sweden are going to work together, so that there is growth for Sweden in one of the most attractive destinations for foreign direct investment in India. There is growth for Sweden by Sweden investing in terms of technology, Sweden bringing in technology to India to share in the growth of Swedish companies and investors, and Sweden bringing in investment into India through the various funds and businesses of India. So I think this is a challenging time for India, a wonderful time in the history of India. And what's more important is for us as Indians, with such a large population, to develop ourselves and to develop companies which come into our country, is to ensure that the labor force, the people are skilled enough. And so the government, for its first time in the history of 60 years, announced a new ministry, a ministry for skill development. And with that intention, and for the last 24 months, the operations of the Skill India mission, I think we are very much on the course of at least encouraging people from around the world to come and participate in building India's skills. Now, many of you in the business community will also realize that to have a competitive workforce and to be competitive in the world, one requires not only skilled people, intelligent people, and competitive people. I know a lot of big corporations of Sweden have investments in India. The Volvo institution has, in fact, a significant operation in our country, and the ABB and a lot of other companies. AstraZeneca, for example, which was once upon a time a Swedish company, has a lot of investment in India. And if all these companies want to develop and gain from the local domestic market, but also compete in the supply chain in the world, I think the most important thing for them is to participate in the skilling of India. So I think with this introductory remarks, giving you a landscape of what is in store in India, a changed India, transformed India are ready for the huge growth. I welcome all of you to think and consider of participating in the skilling movement of India. But I'll be willing to take more questions as my time comes in. Thank you.